What's up YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr with another live duel from this weekend's OTS Championship. On the left we have Mitsu, Ryzeal, Fiendsmith that you saw featured in the previous round, and on the right we have Blue Eyes Primite. So we're going to be starting off with Ether Barrel, getting our way to the Lordy Load, all those extra shiny quarter century secret rares, working into Drill Beam. This kind of route in Blue Eyes is just absolutely insane, and I love the fact that Drill Beam becomes free discard fodder, because as long as you control a Primite, you can reset the Drill Beam, which means that it's not really a neg 1 off of the back of your wishes. Like, if it does get stopped, sad days. And the other thing with Beryl as well is it just baits out so many hand traps. So does Lordy Load. It's like Lordy Load, you don't want them to get access to Drill Beam, you want to ash them. It then opens up the door for something like Wishes, and now is where you can really start to move on. This is probably like the last point of interaction, in my opinion, where if you stop the access to the Mausoleum, unless they've hard opened it, you stop the access to an additional normal summon, and then the only other thing you really need to worry about is like in the Nibiru or the Primal Being, and that is if you are trying to play around the Nibiru, you save your True Light Revival where at all possible. So as we see here, we're going to be sending Blue Eyes to the graveyard. We're going to tribute off the Spirit, bring back the Blue Eyes, using Sage to go into the Spirit. So this is obviously the navigation way to kind of respect Nibiru a little bit here. As you go, discard the Maiden to place the True Light face up. Now it really kind of comes down to how aggressive do you want to be. Now, we've gone through Beryl, Blue Eyes, so Spirit is technically the 5th summon. You still have True Light to revive Blue Eyes, and in doing so, because we didn't revive Maiden the last time, you can actually revive the Maiden, and that will then go into a... and it looks like getting into the Roared with Visibly will do that job for you. But basically, it gets you into another level 9 Synchro. You're already in the Nibiru territory, so the only thing you're really saving here with True Light is the access to get into Majesty, or work its way into something else. It looks like we're going to go for our second Spirit Dragon, banish the Wishes to get the targeted protection in the graveyard with the Neo Blue Eyes, and then I am assuming we're going into the Hieratic Seals. Yeah. So, I mean, that's not a bad Enfield. We know we've got Primite Drill Beam. The only thing we know, or we don't know, we've got Majesty as well. So he's got Majesty with, I believe, Pop 1 or Destroy 1, unless there is a Blue Eyes in the hand. We've got Spirit Dragon that can tag out. We've got Hieratic Seals. We've got Drill Beam. The only thing that's missing right now is a early access to Blue Eyes, which is exactly what we're going to get here. So we're going to use True Light Early Doors to get back the Blue Eyes. And then it's going to be Engraver. So this is what's so good about the Mitsu, Ryzeal, Fiendsmith version of the deck, is it's just so grindy. It will lose to a Droll, but the Fiendsmith will lose to the Droll. The Mitsurugis can still kind of play a little bit, but it looks like there is no Droll, sadly. So going for Tract. I don't know if I'd let Tract resolve, but this is, like, there's no normal summon conducted. And there's still 5 cards in hand. This is what's absolutely insane, is... even if this resolves, goes into Lorry comes back to the field, and then you want to use Drill Beam to banish the Lorry, or if you want to use Seals to return the Lorry, it still just allows them to go, okay, cool, normal summon the Lorry. You'd have to banish the Lorry, and then there's still 5 more cards to play with that can all be Ryzeal combos, they can all be Mitsurugi combos. It's crazy that the Fiendsmith route doesn't lock you into anything. So we're going Lacrima to send. I'm not sure if they main deck the Paradise, I guess we'll find out in a minute. Do you let I mean, at this point, do you really lose anything? So the Drill Beam on Lacrima, I feel that it's kind of, we're in the same position as if you Drill Beamed Lurry, right? Like, if you Drill Beamed Lurry when it came back, it would still end... it would end with less resource, because then there wouldn't be a Lurry in the grave. So there wouldn't be a Light Fiend for Engraver to spin back. And then it would have forced the normal summon. That might have been semi-better. I mean, normal summon the Saji is still great. There's no doubt about that. Imperm on the Saji, that's not bad. It's still got the Hieratic Seal. So we've gone through the normal summon. Maybe he doesn't play Chaos Angel? Unless I've missed something, you could technically, bring back Engraver by shuffling back the Requiem and go into Chaos Angel, or attempt to go to Chaos Angel. But it looks like we're forcing the Battle Phase. Battle Phase is going to use Hieratic Seals to return the Saji, works its way into the Beryl. Beryl didn't search Lordy Load. And then X, this is just like, literally, you've opened up all the gas cards. Engraver, X'd, and Saji. So, like, all of your best cards you could... Well, maybe you want to see the Habakuri instead for the Mitsurugis, but... So, we've already used True Light. We're going to attempt to negate the Spirit. And then we're going to be banishing the Neo to protect the Spirit. So, Spirit's effect is still live. We've got Node... What do you go for off the back of Spirit here, I suppose? There's still Majesty, which is only a pop 1. We know there's Node. We now know that there's Sword. And we now know there's Ice. So, still a lot of gas coming from this deck right now. Majesty. I don't know if Majesty's a pop 1 or a pop 2. Is it a pop 2? It is a pop 2. Okay, cool. So even better. So you just clear that off. That's just such an incredible... Like, fair play to try and pick this field apart. Especially something down the Node. Is there any other further extender? So Node's effect to revive. I'm not sure if Spirit Dragon can lead into any disruption. I suppose like the best thing you could do would be going to like a Moonlight to return a card. X already been special. There's still one more card in the hand that we don't know of. He's going to... Oh, X-Ton Knight. Okay. This kind of puts it in a tricky position now because X-Ton is going to clear that field regardless of what happens. So you go Spirit Dragon, you can chain Exciton, which would destroy everything. I mean, there's only 3 cards left in hand, so he really did need to navigate to burn through his own resource. Oh, there is a Habakuri in the hand as well. Wow. Ah, and we are going for the Moonlight. I'm surprised the Moonlight was used so late. So it'd go... Moonlight would summon, and then it's mandatory on the trap card, right? So the trap would go Chain Link 1. Moonlight would be Chain Link 2. So it should be okay there. And then pass in turn with nothing left. I feel that maybe the Moonlight gets done earlier before the XEs comes into play, but maybe they were expecting the XEs to be like a duo drive and wasn't really expecting Exton, which is fine. And then this is where it gets crazy. So Beryl comes back to the hand, normal summon Beryl, Beryl's effect, search out a Lordy Load. Oh, that's why he didn't do Beryl. I keep forgetting that Beryl's specifically normal summon, isn't it? For some reason I thought it was normal or special. Yeah, why make it more cracked? And then... Because Drill Beam's in the graveyard, Drill Beam can be reset, so that just give you like it's just endless resource with the Primite engine, which is what is crazy. And then when we get the brand new fusion and the fusion spell, it just makes everything like the fact that the fusion spell isn't like doesn't lock you into or anything, or doesn't mean you can only summon Primites. It's the fact that it just needs to use a Primite monster, I believe, is just absolutely crazy. So there's no more targets left, which is why they can't resolve wishes. So there's no more traps or spells because they've gone through everything that lists Blue Eyes and it can't search out itself. So going into a 3rd Spirit Dragon to bring back Blue Eyes. Very interesting. At least I'm pretty sure that's a third one. Bring back Maiden. What resources are left? Send the Maiden, get the True Light. Yeah, that's cool. True Light revive Blue Eyes just to be as aggressive as possible, I guess. I suppose this is where you can sometimes argue for playing one master. But even in this scenario, your master wouldn't help you unless you had direct access to... unless you had direct access to something like Sage. There you go. Brain was trying to tick through what could we possibly have. So 2 Blue Eyes, bringing them back. Just going to hard contact fuse... hard fuse using the graveyard effect into the Tyrant, which is good because this just lets you reset Majesty, and now you've got... there's 3 cards left in your opponent's hand, you've got a pop 3. They're contemplating over Imperm and Majesty. I feel Majesty is probably the better bet here. Yeah. So, getting back the Majesty... Lordy Load is bringing back Blue Eyes. So this is I suppose because you can't use monster effects, could you? It would have got more damage on the board. It would have got 6/4 damage on the field. But where do you go here? Do you play a second Hieratic Seals? I mean, even having the Blue Eyes on the field is still fine, because then that means your Drill Beam's live. But then I believe we also have a Barrel in hand. Going into SP Little Knight. Ah, and then he used Lordy Load, so he can't use SP Little Knight's effect to banish the Engraver from the graveyard. Sad. That could have been really good if they had done that. Revealing the... So they know that there's a Barrel in the hand. So Drill Beam is live, as it currently stands. So we have Drill Beam, SP. We're bringing back Blue Eyes Early Doors, which brings back Maiden, and a Majesty. So a pop 2, a negate and a banish. Engraver's coming back. You kind of need to get the Requiem back into rotation, right? Because you want the Requiem back in the grave so that you could equip it to an Engraver, so to speak. But there's no way without, like... Yeah, Engraver into Requiem. Requiem... We're going to see another Lacrima? No, another Engraver, which is fine. And then... I suppose at this point you'd go Requiem. Oh, he's just going to attack the SP. Yeah, makes sense. I don't know why you would have used the Requiem. Do you then try and keep your SP on the field? It looks like we are going to be trying to keep the SP on the field. So we're going to destroy the Engraver, which is, again, this is just what's so good, is it's been able to kind of bait out a really strong interaction. I mean, set 1 and then Habakuri. That's interesting. Do we know there's a... Oh, because then you contribute 1 on the field. Because the Saji, we know the Saji's in the hand, so we could have set the Saji, and SP... has to banish face up, or is it just monsters? It's all these little bits of text that you don't really start to think of. Target 1 card on the field and engrave, banish it. When your opponent activates a card or effect, target 2. Yeah, 2 face up monsters. Very, very cleverly played. By setting the Saji, when you use the Habakuri, you can now chain block as well, getting both the Mitsurugi monsters to trigger, and SP couldn't have banished it. Genius. Well played. Well played. Yeah, very, very clever on that one. See, that's the fine details. That is the very fine details that when you double check and read those particular type of effects, you know what you need to play around and what you don't. Special running down sword, I feel the last thing left is a Drill Beam, unless there is any hand traps that have been drawn in the Blue Eyes hand. It's a very, very grindy game 1. Very grindy. Going into Exed. Special summon down Ice. We still know there's Exed. What else have we got sitting there? Ooh, Nibiru. Okay. The token's going to be fairly strong. But you just put that into defense. Exed can't really do anything right now. You've already used Engraver. That was a well-timed Nibiru. SP is going to be coming back, which would then in turn bring back what's banished. It looks like we're scooping it up and going to game 2. Because I feel that you can just out that Nib token, and then you should be able to swing in for the final amount of damage. Because we've done 3-4, right? It should be easy to get 2 Blue Eyes to the field. Anyway, so going into game 2, starting off with the Mitsurugi Ritual. It looks like there's a Fluidos in the hand. Or a Fluveros? I don't know. People keep telling me that it's a Fluveros, but I was like, where's the V? Either way, I love the ritual. Like, it's so good that we've actually finally got semi-decent rituals, reptile sport with ritual sport as well. It's like we've been asking for a ritual spell that lets you kind of ritual from the deck for a while now. So it's really kind of cool. Not that we want it to be too generic, because then you just get to ritual summon any ritual monster. So, I mean, no droll, right? No, we've added those 2, and then we're going to go for preparations. Like, you'd like to think that there would have been a droll on resolution, and now I think they're contemplating the Ash Blossom. No, the resource. Literally add 2, add 2. Cool, bro. Technically, I think it's like +1 in both scenarios. I don't know how many cards are now in the hand, but it's mad that we've got, what, 4 cards in the graveyard, 2 cards on the field, 1 card we've just added back, and I'm pretty sure that's a hand of 6 going first. Absolutely crazy. Like Mitsurugi's. I think someone was saying earlier that this was probably like the best TCG exclusive on their own that we've received since... Did Dangers come after Spirals, or was Spirals after Dangers? But yeah, like, as it is. I Ghost Spell, and then they chain the Amanakumo to then force you to discard another card, so you discard the Drill Beam, which is also quite interesting because I know you can recycle that, but I mean I understand why they're holding the Fluveros or the Fluoros is for the pure fact that, you know, if you try and go anything that's going to start to summon from the deck or anything, oh, we're just passing, just gonna pass. So we're going keeping the Amanakumo on the field, which is fine because we know that set card's probably going to be prayers, which is going to set up a Raigeki in theory. So normal summon the Primite. The Amanakumo is going to force the discard. I mean, you just discard the Fluoros right now, right? Yeah. This is kind of where I feel that you might have. I mean, with a bit of hindsight, you might have discarded the Fluoros off of the Amanakumo and you keep the Drill Beam, so that when they force you to activate the Amakumo, if they go Amakumo, you normal summon your Primite Beryl, and they go, cool, Amakumo, you go chain Drill Beam, and then banish the Amakumo, and you don't need to worry about that. Well, no, because then you would still go, you chain Prayers, tribute off the Amakumo, which would kind of dodge the Drill Beam. Or you hold the Drill Beam for the Prayers, maybe, but then it would have meant that you would need to keep the Beryl on the field or a Primite card in the hand. Or a Blue Eyes, technically. Anyway, we're going to work our way into the Blue Eyes Link 1. Search ourselves out Mausoleum. I feel right now that there isn't really anything threatening to Raigeki. Like, there's no need to Raigeki. There is a Fluoros in the Mitsurugi's hand. Not really needed. Going to be true enough to try and bring back the Blue Eyes. I feel that this is the issue, is unless you have another Drill Beam in the hand, like you're playing 2, to deal with that Amakumo, when it comes back to try and Raigeki, there's not really a lot the Blue Eyes can do. So, battle phase, attack, no, and also not having like a Maiden or a Sage or like any level 1 tuner to kind of revive doesn't really help. And we've got the Mausoleum, but we don't have an additional summon, which is a bit sad. But going into Lordy Load, I feel that as soon as you go into the Hieratic Seals or like anything you make here, you prayers, right? Do you tempt that? Just like to deal with to deal with the spheres. Okay, I'm not going to tempt with the seals. I would like to think there's a Primite in hand, right? So we know that there's a Drill Beam. I think there's still a Nash Blossom in that hand. So going for the Ritual Spell to Ritual Summon the Habakuri from the grave, which will then in turn trigger off the Amakumo. I mean, I don't think there's anything here. So the Amakumo comes back. You search off the card. You've resolved the Amakumo, searching off the prayers. You've got that back. Amakumo's effect's going to trigger to Raigeki. You're going to chain the Seals. Seals is going to force the discard. There was another Drill Beam. Maybe we're holding that Drill Beam to deal with... holding that Drill Beam to deal with the prayers that just never came. Normal summon Ice. This is just crack now. Ice is going to do its thing. Get hit with Nash. Link those 2 off. Here we go. Moon. Hey, you stopped my my Mitsurugis. You stopped my Ryzeal. Now try and stop my Fiendsmith. It's like, brah. Okay. All important. Game 3 in the last duel. Let's go. So what we're starting off with. Blue Eyes is starting. Wishes. Uh-oh. You don't want to be starting with Wishes because you are literally saying, hand trap me. Discarding the Ghost Spell. You never want to discard. Oh, there's Yash. Oh, that's pain. Pain. Set 1 and pass. Not nice. How good is the other hand? There's so much engine. It's so difficult. Normal summon sword. I think that's a judgment. If I remember rightly, that's a judgment. Yeah, judgment the normal. Whoa, Kossi in game 3. Now what have we got? I think there's a purge in the hand as well. I think like Blue Eyes just opens up all hand traps and 1 wishes. So special summon down the sword, purge because there's a trap, negates and destroys, pass. All we need is a starter. No, it's Blue Eyes and Drill Beam. Oh, it's Blue Eyes and Drill Beam. I'm surprised you didn't discard the Blue Eyes rather than the Bell. Normal summon Ice and off you go. Like, there's nothing you do with Blue Eyes in the hand now. And they're just going to be able to go off unanswered. That's so sad. And maybe drew Drill Beam for turn. Or maybe you drew Blue Eyes for turn. I would like to think that if you had the Blue Eyes in your opening hand, you would have discarded it. Detonator, Node, and then, yeah, this is pretty much going to be game. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe, share. Until next time, as absolute... Oh my god, all the hand traps. Stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.